Yeah. I can't believe they made up.
I'm upset that they made up.
So am I.
I like the Feud.
So did I.
I wanted to see The Rock. I don't know, beat him up, but not beat him up, but beat him up.
It's such
at the box office. That would be where it actually hurt. If you beat Vin Diesel up in the face, he already looks like he's had
a few bad knocks.
Yeah, he looks like pizza dough.
Yeah. But now, like, it's just funny because in my mind, there's only one person you choose in the Rock versus Vin Diesel debate.
Yeah. Captain Charisma or
I don't know, Baldy
Vin Diesel. Yeah,
Balderson.
I was just thinking Vin Diesel is actually more of a Rock.
Yeah,
you know,
basically, he's got nothing to him
when it comes to personality. Even though I don't hate Vin Diesel, I kind of love how bad he is.
Yeah,
and how crazy he is.
Mm-hmm.
It entertains me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I just have no love for Vin Diesel.
No,
I never really have.
Have you seen him dance?
Yeah,
I've seen that video and he's dancing. Yeah. He's a crazy person.
He is.
But the feud's over. The Rock now, he kind of made a bit of a wink to the cameras he says, I'll see you down the road.
Yeah.
So he might be in the next Fast and Furious. It
Maybe.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
The Hobbs and Shaw experiment, though, worked.
It worked, yeah. I think that's probably what scared Vin Diesel, that it worked.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, let's be friends again.
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, The Rock is such a box office draw, you know? I don't understand why you wouldn't put him in it.
He is and he isn't. The Rock is an anomaly. Yeah. He's more famous for being The Rock than being a film star.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you look at his box office results, they're very middle of the road. And then there's a spike with Fast and Furious and a spike with Jumanji. Really? That's about it. Like, Hercules didn't take off as much as he wanted to. Skyscraper didn't take off as much as he wanted
King.
to. Stop going back to Scorpion King. Your favourite Rock movie.
It is. I watched it so much as a child.
Pain and Gain didn't even do that well.
Pain and Gain's a great movie as well. It is a
great movie. Can you believe you're calling the Michael Bay movie great?
No, I can't. Well, in fairness, he also does... What's that other... Benghazi. That's good. 13 Hours.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
With John Krasinski.
Yeah. That's a good movie as well.
Jim from The Office, his first action role.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there's more new Michael Bay stuff that we'll be talking about. Yeah. But first things first, we got to start the podcast.
We do.
Gentlemen, and welcome to Straight to Series episode 21.
We made it.
We're old enough to drink in America.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, and it feels good.
It does feel good.
It feels good. To celebrate going to 21, we're back on the Monster.
Hell yeah, bruh.
The thing we drank in our undisclosed black diet drinks or whatever, energy drinks.
These are not diet. No. That's for sure. Well,
I don't know.
Gives you the shits.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we drank these in our unaired episode, and to commemorate a second unaired episode, because we recorded this whole podcast
a few days ago.
Recorded the whole thing.
Computer's a dick.
Computer crashed right at the end. An hour and a half gone.
It just was laughing at us.
It was due to a certain curse that we will be invoking again later on in the show.
Yes, we got to talk about this curse. It's real. The curse is real.
The curse is real.
We got proof.
So if this gets released, we know we've beaten the curse, basically.
I'm afraid that the curse is going to curse this again.
So am I. I'm very afraid.
Yeah.
We had 2 reasons for it failing as well. What was the second one?
For what failing?
For it not capturing or something. Wasn't there? We blamed one on the curse, and then there was something else as well.
Oh, I think we just blamed Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Who has something to do with the curse.
Yeah. That's a little teaser for later. But first things first, we're going to go to the box office, which is how we normally like to start this thing.
So last week, we didn't really have much to talk about.
No, we didn't have a dog in the race.
Yeah, and the weekend just gone.
Yeah.
Didn't have any significant releases.
No.
Rambo is doing softly.
Yeah.
It's a soft release.
We said, we didn't say because this is a new podcast, but it was going to hit like 100 million maybe.
It might limp to 100 million.
Yeah, about 96 mil is conservative, I would say.
Yeah, and I think that's all right. It's a Rambo movie.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's over it anyway.
You were saying they historically don't do very well.
Well, the last Rambo made nearly the same.
It
made just over 100 million and cost 50 million to make. This one cost 50 million to make, and it might just make nearly identical numbers.
So strange.
So in other words, it came out in 2008, I'm pretty sure, the last Rambo. So 11 years ago, we were over Rambo.
And he brought it back.
And he brought it back.
I don't think Rambo has the same love as other Sylvester Stallone characters.
No, but the first movie is one of his best.
It is.
Which is interesting. And even when I was watching Rambo, because I went to see it, you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
You're not missing much. But even when I went to see it, they kind of touch on the PTSD. And Rambo, the whole thing is like Rambo's never left the war.
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, oh, there's actually so much you can do with this.
Yeah.
Like, he could do a Rocky 6. Where after the shit pile that was Rocky 5, he actually really brought it back, and it was a poignant story.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. I really liked Rocky 6. And when I was watching Rambo, I was like, this, like, they kind of touch on little things where you're like, oh, go deeper into that.
Yeah.
Deeper into, like, how he's suffering from PTSD. Instead of him just beating the shit out of Mexicans.
It's not as interesting.
For an hour and a half. Yeah.
Because he's a racist.
Because he's a racist.
Yeah.
And he's so greasy.
He's so greasy.
So greasy in that movie. He's forearms in grease in that entire movie.
Yeah. Did you know Sylvester Stallone did the movie Freeze, My Mom Has a Gun?
That's his biggest regret.
His biggest regret. But it's because he heard Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to do it.
I know. They used to play these games all the time.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So Arnold Schwarzenegger Arnie's a crafty one, isn't he?
He is. He's very crafty.
Check out our Predator special.
He's a crafty guy.
Yeah, you see how crafty.
He plays a few tricksies every now and again.
He's a trickster.
He's a trickster. But speaking of tricksters, we're talking about the Joker.
Fantastic segue, by the way.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. Thank you. So the Joker is out today in Ireland as of filming this.
I think worldwide. 4th of October.
Okay, that's a good time to release it. But Box Office Mojo has its projected earnings.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting because it's the widest release in America in October ever.
Really?
And Venom last year, was it last year, 2018?
2018 was Venom, yeah.
And that set the record, and this is beating it by over 100 theaters.
That's crazy.
So it's actually the widest released movie in October in America.
But that's so weird considering the controversy around Joker at the time.
I know, and there's certain theaters that won't even show it.
Yeah,
because they're fearful of what is the one? Was it the Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight had the shooting. And
I think that same cinema, even maybe that whole franchise of cinemas aren't showing it. Cosplay is also banned in a lot of theaters in America. Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield went to the premiere of the Joker and he cosplayed. He had like the Joker face paint on.
Did he?
Yeah, that's cool. That's weird though that cosplay is banned. Like
in certain ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it has something to do with violence, but I don't know. The guys who usually wear cosplay are the most fragile.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, oh, it's the fucking weirdo in the fucking back that looks like Rambo.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one you have to look out for.
He's got Mexican blood on his fists.
Yeah. Have you watched Dave Chappelle's new special?
I have. Sticks and Stones.
Yeah. It's really good.
It's really good.
It's really good, but he has the good point of why would you bother doing drills in schools for school shooters and everything? Because aren't you just training the shooter?
I know how to avoid detection and all that.
Yeah, but he has that whole bit in it.
Yeah, it's a great special.
Yeah, but that's what I think of when it's like, whenever people do these things, it's like there's no cosplay allowed or whatever. It's like, you're not, if someone wants to come in and shoot up the place or do something terrible, just because you're not going to let him dress in whatever he wants doesn't mean he's not going to get in there.
Yeah,
it's so strange. It's an American reaction to something, honestly.
Well, it looks like it's about to make a lot of money.
Cool. Good.
So they're estimating around 85 million in America alone.
Excellent. Wow.
Which is huge.
Huge.
And it beat the preview record for October as well.
Who previously owned that?
I think it was Venom. I know Venom has the October record.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know who previously had the preview record. But I know it beat it. I know it's it made 13 million.
Yeah.
10 million.
Okay.
Yeah, by Venom.
So
Venom had 10 million, and this one beat its preview record by 3 million, so it's 13 million.
Yeah.
So it's about to make dollars.
Yeah. Wow, it really is.
And it only cost between 55 to 65 million to make. So this is a hit.
Yeah. It's a bona fide hit.
I'm glad that this is a hit, even if I don't like the movie. I'm going to see it tonight. But it's interesting because it's one of the first movies that DC have done in a while that's unconnected.
Mm-hmm.
It disconnected to everything, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like this one off, because then maybe we'll get like Superman Red Sun or something like that, you know, some more of these weirder takes on a character.
Which is exactly what I want.
I
basically.
do, especially since we have the MCU.
Yeah.
We have a cinematic universe that's all superheroes, and they have to interact with each other. But the thing is, when there's an action, there's a reaction in that universe where Joker's its own thing. Mm-hmm. Also, Joaquin Phoenix is so odd. I don't know if you can ever get a sequel out of that guy. That's sure he was going to be Doctor Strange.
Oh, excuse me.
He was in deep talks for Doctor Strange, and then he looked at the contract and was like,
it's not him. Doctor Strange is not Joaquin Phoenix.
Also, it's probably like a 6-picture deal.
Yeah.
And you'd probably be lucky to get 2 out of him.
Yeah, you really would. And then he just doesn't fit in the MCU.
No.
Or even in... it's
in most rooms, he doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's true.
He's an odd guy. Most conversations he doesn't fit into.
It's a stretch to see him in the DCU, and that's only because it's such a fucking state, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
See what Martin Scorsese said about the MCU?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a fan of them.
He's not a fan, yeah. Did he call it a roller coaster or something like that?
He said it's a roller coaster, but it's not cinema. I think that's exactly what he said. I'll see if I can get the quote up here. I was watching the news outlet that covered it earlier.
Yeah.
It was on Collider.
That's what I seen it on. There it is. They're theme parks. That's not cinema.
Movies to theme parks. That's not cinema. Yeah.
Comparison to theme parks.
I agree.
Yeah, to a degree. It's definitely not cinema.
No.
To the Martin Scorsese point.
No,
absolutely
not.
That degree.
Yeah. I understand exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think he's trying to detract from the fact that you enjoy those movies, you know?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'd have to see or read more of it.
Yeah.
It's hard to know exactly how he feels about it, but hey, the man can have an opinion.
Exactly.
He deserves it. He's worked for that opinion.
Yeah,
you know?
He really does. I feel like his actual statement was probably more tempered. It's just that headline's more catchy, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's much more catchy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sure, will we move on from box office to... Pretty much the whole thing of our box office this week is that Joker's about to kill.
Joker's about to kill, and Ian is seeing it tonight.
Yeah, and I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see.
Prime time seats in IMAX.
Yes.
Ready to go.
Where's your favourite place to sit?
In the middle of the cinema. In the middle of the cinema, yeah.
Mediocrity, baby.
Hey.
I like it to fill my whole vision.
Yeah.
That's 90% say.
I just don't want to do anything. I just want to sit there and be engrossed.
Yeah.
I was right in the middle for Infinity War, or for Endgame.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was perfect.
I hate sitting right up for IMAX where the screen is so massive and you're that character's on that side. Yeah, it's
playing
horrible.
A tennis match.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I feel like you don't want to be too close to the Joker as well, because Joaquin Phoenix spends a lot of this looking really like creepy. Yeah. I don't want to be too close to that.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah, he's very intense.
I'm excited for the movie.
I'm excited too.
Yeah,
I'm going in. I may hurt people if it's not good. I'm like so hyped for it.
I told you have to text me what you think of it.
Yeah.
I really want to know. Also, like, normally I don't do this, but I'm desperately trying to avoid spoilers for it. Cause
I am big time.
Yeah, because I do not want to know what happens in this movie.
Me either. Yeah, and the trailer doesn't give much away.
No,
it just gives away what you know is going to happen already.
Yeah, basically.
He's going to become a bad guy.
Yeah,
he's going to have a breakdown.
Yeah,
that's it, really.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see.
Me too.
Anyway, let's move on to reviews.
Yeah.
I've already X'd them off here, but that's because my notes are from last week. But basically, Ian texted me earlier on this week about a movie that you heard some good stuff about, but didn't really know much about, which came to Netflix, called In the Shadow of the Moon. Yeah,
and has Boyd Holbrook. That's kind of what piqued my interest as well. I like Boyd.
I like my Boyd.
He's my Boyd.
And you like Michael C. Hall.
I am a big Michael C. Hall, Dick Ryder
fan. Yeah. And Bokeem Woodbine is in there as well.
Yeah.
And I like him from Fargo.
Yeah, he's really good as well.
Yeah.
I know him from Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Can't get right.
But yeah, it's kind of this cool sci-fi detective. Yeah. It's less than 2 hours, which is what attracted me to it.
And we both went in not knowing anything.
Yeah.
I actually had misinformation where I was like, oh, it's a political thriller. That's what I told my girlfriend. And then she started watching it and she was like, really?
Yeah.
10 minutes in and the blood and all, you're like, it's not a political thriller.
Kind of is, though. That's what's strange.
I guess it is.
It can be political, which is what's...
Yeah, I suppose. But it doesn't lean into that side of things. It leans into the sci-fi side of things.
Yeah. which is strange. Now, you're not going to be... If you're watching the movie, the movie's not going to stump you how stuff is happening. You're going to figure it out very quickly.
Yeah, and it's a slow burn as well.
Yeah.
I actually started getting excited around an hour in. Because then when you're like, okay, I got to fix on what's going on here, you know.
Well, you figure it out ahead of the characters, but only just.
Yeah.
So like you figure it out, and then the characters kind of catch up with you, you know?
It's like that. It's like many movies where because you've watched so many movies, the minute they say something, you're like, oh, clearly this has happened.
Yeah.
And, you know, the character has to play like this has never happened in this universe before. Yeah. So they're just like, what? And you know what, like if you're like, oh, it's clearly a machine or something like that, you're like, that's clearly a cyborg. Did they not realize? I've watched so many movies, I know that's exactly what they do to tell you it's a cyborg.
Yeah.
But the character has to be like, oh, how's he not dead?
I had a few moments like that in this movie. I don't want to go into spoilers too much, but there's a moment in this movie where I was like, okay, I know exactly why they've done that. I'm going to write it down so I can tell you after. But
the first interaction between
the two, the antagonist and protagonist, you're like, I know exactly what's going on here.
She says a few words and you're like, okay,
I got it.
Has to be this.
It was even when you see the like people are dying from this strange virus and you see the injector thing,
and that's right at the start.
It's right at the beginning. That's not spoiling anything. And you see the injector thing and you're like, okay, I have a rough idea of where this is going. Yeah. But I got Detective Pikachu in this as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, same myself. I didn't really see that coming, and I kind of guessed it, but they do a good thing to keep you off track.
They do a good enough job of like, I guessed that as well, but I'd forgotten about it that I guessed it by the time it got there.
I guessed it, but then was like, obviously it's not because of A and B. Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. But the best part of this movie for me, it takes place in lots of different eras, but it's funny watching his daughter go from a 10-year-old to a 35-year-old in the space of 9 years.
All of a sudden she's just instantly bangable.
She's instantly far older, and it's only been 9 years in the movie.
Yeah. Also, my favorite thing about this whole movie is Boyd Holbrook's mustache.
Yes.
Because that completes that man's face.
Fills his face.
It really does.
I've never watched Narcos, but I might just for his mustache.
Well, Pedro Pascal's in it as well. Yeah. And he takes over in the third season as the lead.
Oh, really?
It's very strange.
No.
Like, so Boyd Holbrook is the lead for season 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And then his story's kind of finished.
Oh, okay.
But Pedro Pascal is the supporting character for season 1 and 2, and then is the lead for season 3.
Does he take over in season 3 when Diego Luna becomes the main bad guy?
No, that's it. I love what Narcos did, even though I haven't even watched this. But season 4 is not season 4. They just decided to end with season 3 and then do Narcos Mexico. So it's the same subject matter, drugs, and how they're being exported around the world. But it's a completely different side of it, you know, like a different type of regime.
That's
and
cool.
how to do it. It's really cool. It's a great way of rebooting your TV series, like after, because I don't even like that. It's called Narcos Mexico, but I feel like it's just season 4 because all the creative parts of it have like just gone on to that season, except for the actors, because you kind of can't use the same actors.
No, it's like American Horror Story, almost.
Yeah. Except you did 3 seasons of one story. Yeah. Which is Pablo Escobar's story. That's the first 3 seasons, essentially, and then they move on to Mexico, and I really want to watch it. Yeah. And it was renewed for a second season, so the Mexico story has at least 2 seasons. Good. I wonder when Rambo comes into it and starts beating the shit out of everyone.
I don't know. They have to catch up to modern times, basically.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's up in Canada fighting sheriffs at the moment or something. Yeah.
I look forward to him though.
Yeah, eventually
coming in.
But yeah, check out In the Shadow of the Moon. It's worth your time.
You know what? I didn't think I liked it as much until me and you start talking about it.
Yeah.
And then we were both agreeing on, that was kind of cool. I did that and that. And all of the great things about it. Well, there's no great things about it. No. But there's good things about it. But there's a lot of good things about it.
It's just a good go through from start to finish. You know.
It is. And it's so weird at the start. It really has you guessing at the start. You're like, what is going on?
Also, they have whenever you see cops in TV shows, they're always dressed pretty well. Boyd Holbrook's, like, the one they have in the 80s of their cop uniform is the worst looking cop uniform I've ever seen in any, like, production or anything. It's the white shirt, it's the coat that's meant to be a trench coat but isn't long enough. It's the open, but it's terrible. It's such a bad look.
I was also, one thing that let me down was that I'm a big fan of Michael C. Hall, and he's just there.
He's barely in it.
He's lukewarm.
Yeah.
In every scene, he doesn't pop at any part of the movie.
He really doesn't. Whereas everyone else kind of pops.
And the director, his last film was Cold in July,
which is Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall was the lead, and he's really good in that. So I was going, oh, cool, because Michael C. Hall's in very little things, but I loved Dexter. Yeah, until it got terrible.
What was I going to say? Michael C. Hall doesn't pop, but if I could give a award for someone for overacting, it's the guy who plays the professor.
Oh, the Indian guy.
He really oversells it. They give him a scene, and it's like he's like he runs wild with it.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah,
that's the part where I was like, okay, because it's kind of, it's a bit hokey.
Yeah,
and everything else was very grounded, even though it's a sci-fi film. You know, he is a bit.
He's out of place.
Overacting. Yeah.
But other than that, it's a good movie. Like, just because I'm saying he's overacting, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And we were going to also review
The Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance.
Age of Resistance. Yeah, so it's the new puppet show that has come to Netflix, and the production value for this is insane.
It is absolutely epic.
It's breathtaking. It's magical.
It's whimsical.
Yeah, it's just so good.
It just floats along.
Yeah.
The whole thing, even the evil Skeksis.
The Skeksis.
They just float in a way because they're just so ridiculous. I think, did we compare it to... They're so hammy.
Yeah.
We compared it to, on the last podcast, that doesn't exist.
Will never air.
Paul Giamatti in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
As the Rhino,
As Rhino.
But it works. That's like...
But that's because the whole thing is kind of whimsical and fun and hammy, where it's Amazing Spider-Man 2, he's just there. He's just... like, among like what's supposed to be kind of grounded and real, you know?
Yeah. No, there's no Kevin Feige over there when they were making that movie. Yeah. But I also watched the original Dark Crystal, and I was like, this is good children's movie, you know. It's really good. And when you think about it, like when I was watching it, I was like, wow, the puppetry and everything in this is so good for the 80s. And then when you watch Age of Resistance, you're like, holy shit, I didn't know they could come this far in it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah.
But I was spellbinded by how well.
Yeah.
I've only watched the first episode.
Yeah.
And I want to find out how much she spent on it. Yeah. I couldn't find it out.
The best review we can give for this is that they have released a documentary about it, and neither of us want to watch it for the spoilers, even though we're so interested in it.
I want to see the documentary more than the following episodes.
I know.
And that's not a diss on the show. No. It's just because I want to know how they did it.
Yeah.
There's a library scene.
Yeah.
And that just, oh my God, it's just so amazing. Yeah. It's fantastic. And I was trying to figure it out because I'm like, surely they're morphing from real live action to CGI and back in, but it is absolutely seamless.
There's a scene like that in every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're like, holy shit, like, I thought this was good and I don't know how they did this, you know?
The backdrops look real. Like, surely the backdrops are real. It looks like it reminds me so much of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, man.
The whole big, wide adventure.
You were saying that the main puppets, back in the original one...
The Gelfling. They're kind of the ones that mostly resemble humans, I'd say.
They're the humans. They're like the protagonists, basically.
Yeah, pretty much elves.
They're the elflings.
Yeah, Gelflings. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Copyright.
Goblin elves. That's kind of what they are.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's probably where they got Gelflings from.
But yeah, you were saying it took like 4 people in the original 1980s.
Just to man 1.
Yeah, and now they got it down to 2.
To 2, so they have more freedom to move.
It's so cool.
I want to know how 4 people operate one of these things. Yeah, because they're not huge.
No, but they're not small. But like, even watching it, having watched the 1980s one, I'm like, Jesus, I didn't know 4 people were working that one person.
Well, they're smaller than a person. You know, they look like they're 3 foot high.
Yeah, something like that.
Just like slightly smaller than me, sadly.
It's so weird because, like, they do such a good job of not perspective but size and everything in the show. They make it seem so much bigger than it is.
It's huge. Yeah. And I was telling you, Louise Leterrier directed it.
Yes.
And he's a big time director.
Yeah.
He did The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And Now You See Me. And he did a few others that like big films.
Yeah.
And Now You See Me wasn't even that long ago, and that was a hit, you know. So
but you were saying he's attached to do this for years. Yeah.
And he did all 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I love when a show does that.
Well, it's definitely a passion project for him. And it comes across.
Yeah, and it's his best work.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember his full filmography, but it was clearly his best work.
Yeah, miles above. He had about a few 3 to 2 star movies in his thing.
He did,
and then Age of Resistance is like, it's like a 4 to 5 star thing, just in terms of production value and everything.
And I had this little bit of trivia.
Yeah.
That more than 170 puppets were used, which is scary to think because puppets are expensive.
Puppets are very expensive.
Over 70 different species were created.
Yeah.
That's mental.
It's so great. When you watch the original one as well, you can tell every new scene, like Frank Oz and what's his name? Jim Henson. You can tell they were like, okay, we're gonna create a new creature for the scene just because we can.
Just because we can. Yeah,
it's so good.
And what's it? 83 puppeteers and 59 voice artists bring them to life.
Yeah.
And in total, more than 2,500 people worked on the 10 episodes. Oh, I want to get up the voice cast.
Yes.
Because that is extremely impressive.
That's what I wanted to say as well. Having watched the original, the one place it suffers is the voice cast. Because it's not great, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not terrible, but it's not, it's easily the weakest part of the original show.
Where this is star-studded.
Star-studded. Honestly. Couldn't get bigger stars for this movie. Where is it? That's the original. But the original movie is not as good as Labyrinth.
No?
No, Labyrinth is better still.
I haven't seen either of them.
I love Labyrinth.
So Taron Egerton, Anya Taylor-Joy is Split. Yeah, the young girl in Split. Natalie Emmanuel, isn't she the one out of Game of Thrones? Gets her.
Yes.
She's a slave.
She is. She's in Fast and Furious as well.
Yes, she is. She's a
the hacker.
Hacktivist. Isn't that what they call it?
Hacktivist.
I hate that.
Ludacris's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Eddie Izzard, Helena Bonham Carter, Toby Jones, Lena Headey, another Game of Thrones alumni.
Alicia Vikander. Natalie Dormer, Game of Thrones as well.
Again.
Mark Strong.
Theo James.
Anyone else?
Jason Isaacs. Simon Pegg.
The Skeksis easily have my favorite voice cast.
Oh my god. Benedict Wong. Mark Hamill.
Andy Samberg. Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh my god.
Awkwafina.
It's Bill Hader is in there as well.
Bill Hader's in every voice
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's so good.
It just keeps going.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about it. I'm like, Bill Hader's down the bottom?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the Skeksis are always like, whenever I watch an episode, whenever they're on screen, I'm like, God, I love these guys. They're the villains, but it's so good. They're so hammy. I love it.
But this is the type of series where I look at that and go, how did he convince Netflix to do this? And Daredevil didn't get a season 4.
I know. It's so strange that they can just, like, they can give something like this life, but they wouldn't even consider giving Daredevil season 4, you know?
Yeah, and this is, like, it is great, but I mean, that had to have been a hard sell.
Yeah.
Because after watching, well, I only watched one episode, but it clearly got a lot of money given to it. Like, the budget was hefty.
I don't know, there's nostalgia is a big thing nowadays, and nothing is more nostalgic than 80s nostalgia. You know, look at Stranger Things. That is arguably one of their most successful shows, and all that is 80s nostalgia.
It's like a massive homage to Steven Spielberg.
A whole season took place mainly in a mall from the 80s.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And Dark Crystal is like one of those movies, and I'd say, I don't know, I can't speak for all the voice cast, but I'd say a lot of them were like, yeah, I'll do a voice in Dark Crystal. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
You know?
The likes of Mark Hamill or Bill Hader's probably the perfect age.
Yeah.
You know, he's like just touching 40, I think.
Yeah. Bill Hader says he watches movies and he forgets that he's done voices in them because he does them so quickly all the time. Like, his kids will be watching something and they'll be like, Dad, you didn't tell us you were in this. And he was like, I genuinely forgot, you know?
Or Gwyneth Paltrow didn't know she was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know, because I guess she just does so many scenes for different, because she does very limited amount of scenes as well for them.
Yeah.
So it's spread all over the place for, you know, Endgame and Infinity War. So she was like, I'm in a Spider-Man movie?
Yeah. It's got to be tough keeping track of all that. I mean, Bill Hader says he did the BB-8 noises for J.J. Abrams in like a day where JJ just rang him up and he was like, hey, listen, we want you to do the voice of this
I'm sure
robot.
it was just like, do you want to do this? And he's like, yeah.
Bill Hader, like, he says, working with these people is great because especially J.J. Abrams is one of those guys who'll just call him up whenever he's doing something. He's like, do you want to be in Star Trek? Do you want to be the voice of a ship in Star Trek? He's like, yeah, of course. Why not?
Simon Pegg seems to be one of those guys that J.J. Abrams
always calls on.
Yeah.
And now Simon Pegg is close in with Tom Cruise as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's who I want to be friends with in Hollywood.
Oh, fuck yeah. He seems like... I know he's supposed to be a crazy person.
Yeah.
But anytime I hear Simon Pegg talk about him, he's always like, he's the nicest. Have you ever seen Russell Brand on Joe Rogan talking about him?
No.
Yeah, like he invites him over for dinner and Russell Brand shows up late and he's like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. I'm walking into this Scientology, church that is his house. And he's like, he's the nicest guy ever. And it was just a really nice evening. And he was late, but Tom was cool about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever seen the interview where Tom Cruise gets angry at the interviewer?
Is this when he gets squirted?
No. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't get angry. The interviewer is asking him about his recent split from Nicole Kidman, and the way he puts him down is in such a Tom Cruise way.
Is it like the nicest way to put someone down?
Both nice and both terrifying at the same time. I'll have to show it to you, but it's like he's kind of like, now listen, you're stepping over the line here, and you know you are. He's like, and don't mess with me. He's like, no, people want to know these questions. No. You're the one in the room with me. You want to know the answers to these questions, and I'm telling you, you're stepping over the line here. But he has it with a smile on his face the whole time. But
of course he does.
You've pissed off Tom Cruise.
Oh man, I wouldn't want to piss off Tom Cruise.
Tom
Cruise is the guy that if he was in Taken, I would 100% believe he could do every single action that Liam Neeson supposedly does.
Well, he would have been like, I want to climb 3 fences instead of Liam Neeson only climbing 1.
Well, Liam Neeson climbs 0. He runs up to a fence, some stunt double jumps over it, and then he just jump in the spot there, and then he runs on.
Have you heard Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal talk about that?
No.
They're like, they were doing this scene for Far From Home, and they were like, they'd both have to start the scene every time by just going, because they just landed again. But they're like, they had to do it over and over again, and they would just be like jumping up and down next to you, just going, like that.
That's brilliant. Sure. Have you ever seen Taken 3?
Yeah.
The fight scenes have the most cutscenes I've ever seen in a movie. It's just like...
You know what's funny? I watched this video on YouTube, and it was the evolution of fight scenes. Yeah. And I was looking at it, and they show fight scenes from the Bourne movies. And I'm like, I remember watching these as a kid and thinking, these are the coolest fucking fight scenes I've ever seen. They don't hold up that well.
Paul Greengrass, it can give you vertigo watching his movies sometimes.
It's not even the shakiness, it's the cuts.
Yeah.
There's so many cuts in the fight scene. And then you look at now and you're watching a superhero movie. Like, for example, the fight between Captain America and the Winter Soldier in the thing. Very little cuts.
Very clean.
Very clean to watch. And it's just good choreography and everything. Yeah. Clearly, you can see kind of the influence of like Japanese and Chinese kung fu movies coming in. Yeah. Like, or not just Japanese and Chinese, Asian, I should say. Yeah. Asian kung fu movies coming in because... and it kind of starts with The Matrix, where camera doesn't cut so much. You're in there with the action. It's actually the actors doing it and everything. And it just looks so much better.
Well, I always got with The Matrix, and the Raid do it in an excellent way. I always feel like they're going, how long, to say the fight choreographers, how long can we make this scene before we cut? Because, you know... there's certain ones with Keanu Reeves in The Matrix 1 where you're like, well, actually not even The Matrix 1, all 3 of them, where you're like, whoa, this hasn't cut for a while, this is amazing. And I know it'll probably take longer to do, but at the same time they're really rehearsed.
It's so much more worth it, even in John Wick, you know?
Yes, same thing. Yeah, you feel like they're trying to push it as far as possible before they have to cut. Yeah. And it's much more pleasurable to watch.
Not only that, Daredevil, we talked about it earlier. The best thing that everyone remembers of every season is the hallway fight, because it's one cut and it's just this one continuous fight going on, and you know it took ages to get that down, but it's just so worth it when you watch it.
So worth it.
It's like a visual spectacle. And
it's not even as good as the ones... Season 2, they try to up it again, but you can clearly see where it cuts. Every time it goes to a dark spot, it goes completely black for a second and it's obviously cut.
The one in Season 3 is really good.
That is really good. Even though you can kind of see where it morphs a bit. But Oh, it's the prison scene. I actually love that. I love that. When I was watching that,
Yeah.
you know when you realize, oh, it's happening. You know, you get that. We're like, oh, this is the one for the season.
This is it.
Yeah, I love that feeling.
It's so good.
That was an excellent show.
Yeah.
They should have done 5 seasons and then just walked away from it.
And then walked away from it. Finished it good. Finished it the right way.
Yeah.
It deserves it.
It
Charlie
really
Cox, all the cast in that is just so good.
Even though I'll never not see the Punisher as John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Forever.
Me neither. He's ingrained.
I feel like I'll be telling my kids going, yeah, that guy's alright.
Yeah.
You know, in years to come, you'll be like, yeah, you watch this.
I haven't said this on the podcast, but I showed the clip to you, and it's from we're doing well for time.
Yeah.
And it's from the
I started that around 10 minutes in though.
No, you didn't. And it's from the Punisher TV show. And it's in the finale of season 2. I showed you this, and I was telling you that I watched this video of like the subtle things, subtle things that like make John Bernthal's Punisher so good. Like for me, it's the fact that he beats the shit out of women. That happens in season 2.
He gives women a good old go. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's not sexist.
No.
I know a lot of people will be like, oh my God, he hits a woman. But she fucking starts it.
Yeah. It's so weird.
And he ends it.
It's so jarring because it's like, you're like, well, they're not going to make him fight that. Oh, they are. They're going to make him.
Oh, he just cleanly punched her in the face.
Yeah, he just punched her straight in the face. She got back up. This is awesome.
I felt like I was a psychopath because the amount of pleasure I got out of seeing that, because
Jesus.
I was like, I haven't seen this in a long time.
I've never seen this. No one, nothing is brave enough to show me this scene.
I know, except we go back to James Bond where he's smacking a woman.
Well, that was just Sean Connery. That was just him, uncontrollable on set. No, but
we're not even filming.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
What are you doing, Sean? But it's in the final scene, and like he presents this. I won't spoil it, but he gives this option. He's like, you can either take your own life now, and all this goes away, and you won't have to live with it, or you can walk free, right? And this is an uncut shot, and he's standing there, and he has the gun in his hand like this, and you can see when he's like, or you can go free, and his trigger finger just twitches like this,
and it really twitches. When you showed me, I thought it was going to be really subtle, but no, he's like,
you're not getting out of here, basically. But it's such a good like Punisher thing, and the fact that I'd never noticed it before, and someone showed it to me, I'm like, oh man, now if I ever rewatch the series, that's all I'm going to be looking out for. Whenever he gives someone the option to leave, I just want to see, like, you can see the hesitation, and it's like all over his finger.
I'd love to know how that came about.
Yeah,
like surely that wasn't written into the script.
No.
You know,
it's a John Bernthal thing.
Yeah,
he loves being the Punisher.
I know, and I loved listening to stuntmen talking about him. He's like, John goes for it. Yeah, John goes for it. Like he hurts himself.
Yeah, he does. He really broke his hand in the first fight scene in season 2.
It's crazy, and it's written into the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's great. It's so easy to get passionate talking about people who are like passionate about doing it, but again, talk about fight scenes, it all comes back to that, you know, the fight choreography and learning that off, like that barroom fight in the first episode of season 2 and everything. It's so good.
It's
and
excellent.
It's
the gym
all John
fight,
Bernthal. The gym fight,
I think that's the best fight in season 2 to me. I was shocked by how good that was.
I just love watching the barroom fight because the escalation of it is so good. It just gets worse and worse.
I know. It's great.
But yeah, what were we talking about again?
That Dark Crystal.
I don't know how we got to Punisher from Dark Crystal. Completely on the opposite ends of the spectrum. But check out Dark Crystal. It's great.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
and it's really light.
Yeah, and it's funny because like people are like, oh, it's a kid's show, it's just full of puppets or whatever, but I'm watching it and I'm like, this is great.
I laughed so hard. I was only saying this to you the other day, where they have a puppet eating porridge, and it's clearly just a puppet mashing. It's
a guy with
not going anywhere. It's not going. He's not digesting anything. It's just mashed in. I love that scene. It's also, so when they're blowing their nose, the Skeksis, the bad guys, they just have boils on their faces and the snots and all.
It's amazing.
It's so fun.
Watch it for the Skeksis alone. Yeah. They're just so entertaining constantly.
They're so cliche evil. I love it.
And when you think about the voice cast behind it, it just gets better and better. Yeah. You know? Because you know Mark Hamill loves doing all that stuff.
Big time.
He apparently loved like Frank Oz and Jim Henson. Like really? he loved being on the Muppets and everything, and you know, he got to work with Yoda. Yeah. So he got to work with Jim Henson and Frank Oz, and he was like, he loved doing all that stuff. So.
Mark Hamill is so great to just listen to. Yeah. Do you ever see him? Just any interview, you're like, this guy's great.
Yeah, he is.
He's so likable.
He's a treasure.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah. Which makes me sad whenever he talks about Last Jedi.
Hey, he doesn't really defend it.
No, he doesn't.
No.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like...
For him not to defend it, and he's such a nice guy, just shows there's definitely problems there.
It says a lot.
That's what we were going to blame.
That was it. That was the other thing. Last Jedi.
Poltergeist and
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. That's what... Yeah.
It ruined our episode.
That's it.
Yeah. We there's a running joke on this series that where we always come back to Last Jedi. It either happens.
Can't help it.
It either happens on the podcast or on the car ride home.
Yeah.
Every single time we come back to Last Jedi.
Fucking Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Again.
Anyway, we'll move on. Check out In the Shadow of the Moon. It's short, sweet. Yeah,
it's better than it should be.
Yeah,
I actually think it really is.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it more, and I just start liking it more and more. It's good.
Yeah.
And sure, we go on to the trailers.
Yeah, trailers. So the first big trailer that came out this week is Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Obviously, which is the new DC film. And I actually have more information about it than when we spoke about it last.
Oh, great. Which no one heard anyway.
No one heard anyway, yes.
But are we still in disagreement?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the trailer. I don't know. I'm excited for Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. I'm not excited for the movie, even though I actually enjoyed the trailer, and it does help for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never been excited for a Birds of Prey movie. Even when it was announced. You always say that you don't think these films exist until they're actually in the cinemas and you actually see it.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies that it took me a while to... Like, when it gets announced, you're like... Are they really going to film that?
It's taken a while to process.
Also, DC like to announce when anything even touches the developmental side.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're doing a Batwoman movie. We're doing another Superman movie. We're doing the Batman. We're doing a Birds of Prey. We're also doing a Joker and Harley Quinn movie separate. We're doing a Nightwing movie.
Yeah.
We're doing a Harley Quinn movie on our own.
It's so
as
weird.
Well. We're developing a Joker movie.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on. This Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Oh, it's...
Aquaman 2... There's
Flash,
even more. Flash, Cyborg, Green
Lanterns.
They've announced all these.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And there's even probably one or two that we're forgetting.
Shazam 2.
A Deadshot.
Yeah. Justice League Dark. That was in talks for a while.
Dark, Guillermo del Toro was going to direct it. It's actually crazy.
They're so bad for announcing it.
Stop announcing. Is it that there's one guy that's like, he gets the pitch, he's like, this is amazing.
Put it out. Tell people.
Yeah. Justice League will make it back on DVD sales now.
It will not. But they're kind of going for, like, Birds of Prey and Joker have similar budgets. I think Birds of Prey is slightly more expensive than the Joker.
It looks more expensive.
But they're going for the kind of... I mean, it's tough to say, $50 million movie is cheap, but they're going for the cheaper movie with the bigger returns.
I would estimate more on the 100 side, like 100 million. But that's still a cheap movie. Yeah. When it comes to the superhero genre.
Oh, no, it's not 100 million.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure the budget isn't 100 million.
Yeah, I can look it up.
Yeah. But anyway, so I have some more information. So the characters in it are, I mean, they're all kind of interesting. It looks like a mainly Harley Quinn led movie, which is not something I knew I ever wanted before. 75 million. 75 to 100. Oh, okay. I thought it wasn't. I thought it didn't break 100 million though. The video I watched on it said it didn't break 100 million. Okay. Anyway, 75 to 100 million. So it's still on the cheaper side of movies.
As superhero movies go.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 cost 200 million to make.
Jesus.
That was a long time ago. When you think about it now, it was like 2010.
But
that cost 200 million to make.
But the suits look good though.
They look amazing. I like to think they spent it all on Mickey Rourke learning how to speak Russian.
I want my bird. Or no, Justin Hammer's fake tan budget.
Oh, on the hands.
Sam Rockwell's fake tan. Yeah. I really like Iron Man 2. It's got a lot of problems, but there's something about it. Like Sam Rockwell, and then the War Machine stuff.
Don Cheadle was his first movie.
Don Cheadle I prefer to whatever his name is.
Something Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, this movie, Birds of Prey, it looks like a Harley Quinn led movie, which is not something I thought I wanted. Yeah. And I'm still not sure if I want it. It's going to be interesting anyway to have it framed from her angle. I've never really thought that she was an interesting character, like that would warrant her own movie, but she's getting a lot of push lately, and you were saying that we probably wouldn't have said this about some of our favorite characters now, and then they got more media about them, and that's when they get more attention. That's when they become more interesting.
Loads of really famous characters have modest beginnings.
Yeah.
Like Harley Quinn showing up in the Batman animated series in the 90s.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, just saying that we're kind of living through that because she's still a young character.
Yeah.
Compared to all the other characters that are in films at the moment. I wonder how old Black Panther is.
He prepared in Fantastic Four. That was his first appearance. Yeah. So, and Namor, first appearance in Fantastic Four as well. But he's got more kind of history to him now.
Yeah.
But even like, the only interesting Harley Quinn story I can think of is the Mad Love one, which is the one you see in the animated series, which is how she falls for the Joker.
Which is so great. That's a great story.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like...
And he kind of showed glimpses of that in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but they just didn't do it. Like, they didn't give it enough. Either they didn't pay enough attention to it, or they just didn't do enough with it, you know?
I feel like there was a lot cut out of that as well.
Yes.
I felt like he did a lot more.
Well, Jared Leto said that most of his scenes were cut out, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. Suicide Squad's a bit of a mess of a movie.
Yeah.
But, it's weird that she's getting her own movie. But not her own movie, but it feels like her own movie.
It is her own movie.
At least from this trailer.
She's in 90% of that movie.
Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor, I would say, is in 10%. And there's other characters somewhere, if you look really closely.
Yeah.
There's one shot of Mary Elizabeth Winstead on the motorbike where she's on her own in a frame. You know?
I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead as well.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's John McClane's daughter.
John McClane's daughter,
She's always going to be badass in my opinion.
And I just hope that she's
into nerds, if you ever see... Die Hard 4.
Oh, she likes... Oh, yeah, because she likes Justin Long.
Justin Long, yeah.
Well, she's actually into Jedi because she helped Ewan McGregor cheating his wife in real life.
Oh, were they together?
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are together now.
Are they?
That's who he cheated on his wife with.
There's got to be 15 years at least between them.
Yeah, I know.
Well done to him. She's lovely.
Wouldn't you? I would have sex with Ewan McGregor. Come on.
All right, I thought you were talking about Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Well, that's obvious. Of course.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him in Moulin Rouge?
Yeah.
Like, what a smile!
What a smile! He's just
smile.
He's just a charming man.
He's such a good singer.
Yeah. Everything about Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor cheating on wife. The brutal way Ewan McGregor's family learned about fair. Yeah, wife of his Fargo co-star Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Good for him.
Good for him, eh?
We're endorsing.
Endorsing his cheating.
Destroying a family.
Oh well. Oh, this is great. But yeah, they're pairing it together. And
I've been very partial to Mary Elizabeth Winstead since Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes, yeah, me too.
That's when she really popped for me, and I was like, oh, I love her now.
I can't remember her name and her character's name in that.
Beautiful, sexy lady.
Yes, that's it.
It's along those lines. Angel face, maybe.
Yeah, something along those lines. Anyway, she's playing Huntress.
Yeah. Who I know from Arrowverse fame.
Yes, Arrowverse fame, Arrowverse infamy, as always.
A few of these characters I know from the Arrowverse.
Yeah, Black Canary as well.
Yeah, I know her from it as well.
Yeah, and I found out the Asian girl in it is Cassandra Cain.
Right, I don't know who that is.
She is her name is Orphan in the things. She was also Batgirl for a while.
Oh, really?
She is the daughter of Lady Shiva, who is this is gonna sound Lady Shiva and David Kane. Lady Shiva is the deadliest martial artist in like Batman in the DC, all of DC.
I fought her in the video game.
Yes, you did. You fought her in the video game at one stage.
Was that the third one? The one that was made by a different company?
Yeah, she's in Origins.
Origins, that's it. Which I actually really enjoyed as well.
I enjoyed that too, but yeah, she's like the deadliest martial artist, and sometimes she's better than Batman, sometimes he's better than her.
Right.
It kind of depends on what they want for the story, basically. But the general rule of thumb is Batman can beat her up, but she's really, really good.
We need John Bernthal.
Yeah,
to fucking
to fuck her
lay
up.
into her.
And her dad is David Kane, who was Orphan, who was another deadly assassin. So he raised her basically, and he wouldn't teach her language; he'd just teach her violence. So basically, she's incredibly deadly, and she can barely speak. But she
can barely speak.
She doesn't really speak, but
she's a messed up kid.
She learns through movements. So it's kind of cool. Like in the original, when she was first introduced, she didn't really talk, but she understood movements and physicality, and she
almost like interpretive fighting.
Yeah, so she could read body movements really well.
Yeah.
and that's what she was raised on. So like
body language.
Yeah, so she wanted to express something. She like at one stage she wanted to express her appreciation for something, so she like danced. And that was like her way of showing, because she didn't know how to speak.
Yeah.
So she's kind of an interesting character, but in the trailer you wouldn't know that.
No, not at all. I didn't even know she was in it, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither. The last time we spoke about this, I was like, and then there's that Asian girl with Harley Quinn who I don't know anything about. Yeah. It turns out she's an interesting character.
One of my favorite things about the trailer is the glimpse into Harley Quinn's head.
Yeah.
Where she's doing some sort of big dance or song or whatever, and she's in a ballroom gown.
So I thought that was Material Girl by Madonna.
It does look like that.
But apparently it's something by Marilyn Monroe as well.
Oh, well, yeah, you can see that too. It's got that kind of dame look to it, you know.
It's got like a three-way connection or something, or maybe I'm just not picking up on it.
Hey, I'm into anything three-way, and Margot Robbie.
Yeah, me too.
Margot Robbie is like the example of all men or all people are not created equal, because she's really intelligent. Mm-hmm. She is an absolute chandelier. Mm-hmm. Like she's beautiful.
She is.
She's made of gold.
Yes.
And then she's also so talented as well.
So talented.
I like, though, one thing that's cool about this movie is that she is on the creative floor.
Yeah.
Like she's a producer on it. And I like that she did, like, she's a smart woman. Like, she was like, okay, I want to make this my way. I'm sure she had a lot to do with the director being chosen as well. I don't know her name, but she's like an independent female director. Yeah. And supposedly Margot Robbie had a lot to do with that. Like, she had a hand in a lot to do with this movie. Well, and DC, like, it's pretty cool as well, because you don't see Robert Downey Jr. as like a producer on Iron Man.
No,
but I
just
think
the judge.
I think Warner. Oh, let's not talk about that. I've never seen that movie.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall's in it as well.
Yeah.
And Vera Farmiga.
Yes,
is that how you say her name?
I don't know.
That was his own production company.
Yeah, him and his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan Downey
Jr.
Yeah.
No, she's not the
Susan
junior.
Downey Jr. I like that.
Susan Downey Jr. Yeah, so
but I really think it's cool that Margot Robbie is a part of the creative side. It could be terrible, and then we're like, oh my god, her ideas were awful. But I do like that she's really involved in it. It just shows how much Warner Brothers are thirsty compared to Disney and Marvel. Like, Disney and Marvel are like, hey, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
Where, you know, Warner Brothers is like, well, you could come in as a producer and we'll listen to you.
Jesus, do fucking something.
Yeah, just please sign on.
Yeah.
Just please sign on. Please sign here.
And Batman has disappeared, by the way. This is what I found out in the Birds of Prey thing. Batman has disappeared after Justice League.
Oh, okay.
Because Ben Affleck hated doing it, doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, so he's just disappeared.
He's disappeared.
Well, look in a McDonald's.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's there somewhere.
Yeah, it's strange. They might,
in a suit and is so bloated.
They might do a Nightwing thing.
Another cheeseburger.
Yeah,
Nightwing would be cool.
Yeah, so Ben Affleck's Batman is no longer in the DC universe. Officially in Birds of Prey, he has disappeared.
Yeah. Well, here, let's move on to the other trailers.
Yeah.
The Gentleman.
That's the new Guy Ritchie movie that looks like an original Guy Ritchie movie.
It looks like a Guy Ritchie movie.
It looks like Snatch and Lock, Stock.
Do you think that Will Smith will play a genie in it at some stage?
Possibly. Yeah. It is about a marijuana dealer, so Will Smith appearing as a genie
could make sense. That's some strong marijuana.
Not out of the realm of possibility. No.
So he's taken a detour.
Yeah.
With his career, because the last two films were huge popcorn flicks with massive budgets.
Yeah.
One extremely successful, maybe not critically, but financially. Aladdin made some dollars, but then he made King Arthur.
I don't know.
King. You know what it is.
I know
anyway.
Yeah.
With the guy
with the
Ajax from Sons of Anarchy. I can't believe or Jax. Sorry, not Ajax.
Yeah,
Jax.
Ajax is Ed Skrein in Deadpool. Charlie Hunnam.
Thank you, Charlie Hunnam,
who's also in The Gentleman.
The Gentleman looks like probably the main character.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell pops in this trailer.
Colin Farrell does pop. This is a Colin Farrell loving podcast.
Yeah.
We've said it before.
We said said we said it in the unreleased.
Damn it.
Fuck you.
Rian Johnson.
Making The Last Jedi. But one thing that Irish people seem to do is whenever someone gets really successful, we're like, oh, that guy's getting too big for his boots.
Yeah,
fuck him.
Yeah. But we really like Colin Farrell.
We really appreciate him.
Especially his later career.
I appreciate his drug-fueled era as well.
Totally.
I just kind of, I like him talking about Miami Vice, where he's like, I had no idea what was going on for half that movie. Have you ever heard him talk about that?
Yeah.
He just didn't know what was going on. He just didn't know. He was taking that many drugs. And if you watch that movie, it's not the easiest movie to know what's going on either.
Yeah.
Michael Mann's an interesting fellow.
He certainly is.
Then again, he made Heat.
Heat, yeah.
But he's strayed since then.
Even Heat is like kind of a crazy movie.
Yeah. But it's very comprehensible at the same time. Like, you understand what's going on.
Totally.
Did I ever tell you that I watched Heat, and an hour into the movie, my girlfriend goes, oh, and I said, like, I'm like, what? Like, we're halfway in. There's no big revelation. They're not the same person. She thought Al Pacino and Robert De Niro
in Heat
were the same character. I'm like, just because they're Italian Americans. Like, first of all, Robert De Niro looks like he's like 5 inches taller, and also Al Pacino is Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Like,
she's got a great ass.
Exactly.
And you got your head all the way up it.
Hoo-ha. I can't do impressions.
Oh, okay.
But I can do noises.
Yeah. Did she realize in the scene when they're in the diner together?
It could, it probably is, because that's probably the first scene where they're facing each other.
I think that's the only scene in the movie where they're with each other.
I
think that's like the only scene where they're...
Is it?
I don't know.
Even in the end, are they in
I
the
don't
same
think they
scene?
have a face-off in the end, do they?
No, I think he shoots him, but there's a distance. I don't know if they're in the actual same screen.
No, I think
the same frame.
I think it's literally the only scene where they're like next to each other, and it's so good.
It's a great scene,
and you should know if it comes down to it. I will not hesitate.
Have you seen the Irish movie? Oh, I can't remember. It became a TV series.
Oh, Young Offenders.
Young Offenders. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the movie.
The movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do Heat in it.
Do they?
Yeah, where the guy, he puts the mask on. He's like, I'm going to talk to him. We're going to sit in a diner and talk. And he just sits down and he's like, I heard you were looking for me. And the cop just goes for him instantly. Like, he thinks he's going to do a big Heat moment.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I've forgotten so much of it.
2 Galway lads, I want to say.
I thought they were Cork.
Could be Cork.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, The Gentleman.
The Gentleman, yeah.
Get back to it. Colin Farrell looks great in it.
He does, yeah. That's all we can say.
He's really fun. Hugh Grant looks like he's popping in it as well.
Hugh Grant, yeah. He's really, he's kind of had this renaissance where he's like, he's not being Hugh Grant in a lot of movies.
Yes, he's not the handsome...
I mean, I'll have sex with you if you want, but like, you know.
That aged, handsome Englishman he's been playing forever.
Yeah.
Was he ever young? Since I've watched television, I feel like he's been around 45 to 50.
Yeah. Although I watched About a Boy and he looks quite young in that.
Oh, actually, I suppose, yeah.
But even still, he's like in his 30s or something.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. I've just never seen him in a movie where he's actually young. It's weird when you see older actors that you've grown up as they've been old.
As
like,
they get old, yeah.
Yeah, like Michael Caine. Whenever I see him young, it just freaks me out because I see him still as an old man.
Yeah.
Like if I see Michael Caine as a 25-year-old, I think he's like 60. You know?
Yeah.
I think he's like not what he is now, but only a few years back.
I watched loads of westerns when I was young, so I can kind of still see them as young. Like even seeing old John Wayne, I'm like, oh my god, he used to look so young.
Yeah.
Even though he was always kind of fat as well. Anyway.
But The Gentleman, we both endorse it.
We both endorse it. It looks good. A movie that only one of us kind of endorses is Six Underground, though.
Yeah.
The other trailer came out for that.
That's a Michael Bay movie. And it's utter bayhem, as they call it.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds
in it. Dave Franco's in it. If you look close enough at the trailer, he's in it.
There's a myriad of other actors.
Yeah.
It looks like a Michael Bay movie. It's coming to Netflix.
There's a lot of sparks.
Looks
like
flying.
they use sparklers.
Yeah. Sex scenes. Fighting.
Nice fast cars. A lot of good looking people.
Written by the Deadpool guys.
Yeah, Rhett Reese or something like that. And like someone. The guys who also did Zombieland. And Zombieland 2. Which is out this month.
I still haven't watched the trailer for that.
I thought it looked okay. Did you not watch the trailer with me? I think you did.
No, I don't think we did. No? Not the Zombieland one. I thought that came out while I was away. Did we? Roll tape.
No, not on this, but I feel like we did before. It doesn't matter anyway. I just have an image of us watching it and talking about it. It doesn't matter.
Maybe.
But Six Underground, you like the look of it?
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it.
You made a good point, which was on the Cursed episode earlier in the week, that we don't really get many big budget popcorn flicks on Netflix, if any.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any big budget. Well, I think I made the point on the last one that Bright was trying to do that.
Didn't do it.
Had Will Smith.
Yeah. But even Bright felt, I wouldn't say low budget, but I wouldn't call it a big budget action flick.
Wait, let me use my Rain Man. 90 million.
90 million.
It is actually 90 million.
Oh,
I actually know that.
Oh my god.
Well, it was 90 million. It sometimes changes when things come out for a while. Then they actually adjust it. Yeah. They're like, no, it actually costs a little bit more, a little bit less.
They essentially stop lying.
It doesn't look like 90 million though.
Yeah. 2017. Jesus, that came out 2 years ago.
Oh, 90 million to 106.2 million.
Very strange.
So specific that I feel like it's 106.2.
David Ayer was like, I did not spend more than 106.3 million.
Yeah, I swear.
I swear to God. And don't you dare quote me as saying that.
He no longer endorses Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Can you remember when it first came out? He was like, that's the movie I wanted to make.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same movie I wanted to make. Do you want to do an uncut version of it? That is the uncut version of it. That's the one I wanted to make.
Yeah.
And now he's a bit like, they may have screwed with the film a bit.
My vision.
Well, a marketing company who made the trailer came in and helped with the edit. So it was already publicized that he might have been kind of locked out of the editing room for a big part of that.
What a movie. Have you seen how he's very supportive of James Gunn taking over now?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, can you really not be as well?
That's true.
Fuck him, I was about to nail it this time.
No, you weren't, David.
So Six Underground.
He's busy making Bright 2. Yeah, Six Underground. Yeah, it's, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I will definitely watch it.
Yeah. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be those movies that you used to talk about in school where your mates will be like, oh man, I just watched this movie. It's so cool. It's got guns and like cars and everything.
Loads of colours.
Loads of colours and bright scenes. And there's this great sex scene between like, and that. And then you'll watch it and you'll go, and you'll watch it and you'll go, this is rad. And then you'll grow a bit older and you'll be like, Jesus Christ. Oh, I did not like this movie. That. That's honestly most of Michael Bay movies.
Yeah. I'm afraid to watch Transformers 1.
Me too. I really like that movie, but I don't want to watch it again.
Because I'm afraid I'm going to go, fuck. Yeah. Also, Megan Fox, not that, like, Hollywood has stopped making her a thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've got wise to her. Not that it took long, but I mean, in the first film, I was like, who's this new female actress that's amazing looking?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, it's Megan Fox. Okay.
It's funny how she dates that movie now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, her face dates it because there's way more plastic in that face now.
Yes, a lot more.
Like she looks... Yeah, she just looks a bit faker. Like her face is just slightly changed where you just know work has been done.
Yeah, work has been done. She hasn't aged naturally.
Yeah. Even though she's such a beautiful specimen that like she probably never had to touch anything but Hollywood. Yeah. Like I'm sure if you're in there, it can be a bit scary. Sure, there's lots of reports that Tom Cruise has done really subtle things as well. It's just done really well.
I'm not surprised.
He owns the world. He could buy his own island, you know. So he could pay for.
I want to hang out with Tom Cruise for a day.
Me too. I'm just afraid I'd be extremely let down. He could be super nice, but then it could be a bit like, I
just want to talk about movies with him. Yeah.
He's such a movie fan.
Yeah.
Remember him talking about how he likes to watch a movie a night?
Yeah. He watches something a night. He has a big collection. I think I've told you about this before. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but whenever he gets with a new stunt team, he recommends that they watch a load of these movies, and he's like, because stunt work is all about flow and motion and everything. You have
talked about this.
Yeah.
I've made a clip of this.
Oh, have we?
Where we are just so happy to talk about Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay.
Mission Impossible, what's the latest one?
Fallout.
Thank you, Fallout.
Are we talking about the scene where he's running across the thing and this is when I put it in? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to clip this again.
No.
Although maybe we should.
We'll do a flashback.
Yeah, we do the fade. Do a little. Hang on, we both look into the sky as we remember it.
I looked different back then. I had more hair back then.
I was fatter. Okay, I'm back. And we're back. Yeah. I'm slowly getting that fat again. Excuse me while I chew gum.
Into the microphone.
Oh, mom.
So, will we go on to news? Because we did trailers. Mm-hmm. So, the Irishman reactions are so positive.
Yes, they are.
3.5 hours of epic gangster shenanigans.
Yep.
Martin Scorsese, coming to Netflix November 27th. Last time I checked, I'm going to check again, but it was on 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And Titans is on 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. I just saw there.
I don't trust that.
Yeah, me neither. Oh.
Still on 100%. Woo! Come on, Scorsese.
Wow.
62 reviews. That is impressive.
That was the same as last time.
I love that it says poignant, funny, and profound.
Yeah.
Like, funny, Scorsese, well, I guess he really did dabble in comedy with The Wolf of Wall Street.
There's comedy in every Martin Scorsese movie.
I know, but that was the first, like, bona fide comedy. I know, it's a mixture of comedy and drama, but didn't he win the Oscar for comedy?
Maybe. It was just
Leonardo DiCaprio? Or maybe it was the Golden Globe that he won.
Yeah, Golden Globe. They don't give out Oscars for
comedy. Yeah. I think it was best comedy though, best musical or comedy.
Yeah, that's
at
it.
the Golden Globes, which I was kind of surprised with, because I still think like the dramatic performance that he puts in is outweighs the comedic performance.
Yeah, it does completely. But even Goodfellas is hilarious though.
It is actually. Joe Pesci. Is fantastic in that. Yeah. I love him. He scares me though.
Terrifying.
I love how small he is in that, because he's a little bull.
You motherfucker! You fucking... And he's just like...
when they're fucking stomping on your man.
Yeah.
Dancing on his head. And I love the camera angle where you're seeing it from his perspective.
Yeah.
And you just see the feet coming in.
Yeah. My favourite one is that one where he's getting held back. And he's like, you motherfucker! And he's just pulling to try and get at someone. And
funny how? When he's talking to Ray Liotta. Funny how Ray Liotta's like,
do I amuse you?
Yeah. I'm just breaking your balls.
Just breaking balls, and then some guy comes up and he's like, fucks him up.
Are we stabbing your man in the boot?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Opening scene.
Is that the opening scene?
It is, yeah.
It's been so long since I watched
the movie. Opens and they get out of the car, they open the trunk, they make sure the guy's dead, and then they close it, and Ray Liotta goes, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster, and then it flashes back, obviously.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for The Irishman.
Me neither.
And the fact that a 3.5 hour movie is getting rave reviews like this just makes me so much more excited.
Also the de-aging of everyone.
And it's still getting that high of a score.
That's got to say something.
Yeah.
You told me a really interesting fact about how they de-aged Robert De Niro in this.
I love that. They recreated a scene from Goodfellas.
Yeah, speaking of.
Which is just great, because you can imagine them watching it side by side. I would just love to watch the footage of an aged Robert De Niro revisiting that classic movie and a classic scene. I don't know what scene it is, but every scene in Goodfellas is a classic scene.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. And then you can imagine this. That's kind of a scary thing for the effects team, though, because they're like, oh fuck, like that's because I'm sure they had an A and B like side by side split screen of how he looked then, how he looks now, but digitally de-aged.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that like this movie is getting 100%, and like it's funny to think that all these actors like still have it, because you're kind of like. They're in a few, like Robert De Niro's done like The Intern and all this stuff, or Meet the Fockers, and you're like
1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5.
Robert De Niro's an amazing actor, but he's done a lot of crap. But then he comes back and he gets a Martin Scorsese movie, and you're like, apparently he still has it and he can do it as well.
I'm more surprised with Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci coming back,
because it's been like 10 years since he's been in a main role, and he had to ask him a ton of times.
Yeah,
he didn't want to come back. He was been retired for I think it's around 10 years.
Yeah. He does not want to do any more movie work.
He's aged so much because he hasn't been on screen aging. Yeah. You know that way? So like the next time we see him, we're like, oh, he's my granddad.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah.
He looks like the guy who cleans Woody in Toy Story 2 in that poster. I
think he looks like an amalgamation of him and Scorsese himself.
Yeah.
With the black rim glasses and the grey hair.
Yeah, he kind of does.
And he's also probably the same height.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese is a very small man.
Yeah,
that's
actually everyone except for De Niro is a very short actor. Well, like Al Pacino's quite short.
Pacino reminds me in that in the Muppets, the eagle, Sam the bald eagle.
Yeah,
that's what he reminds me of in that photo. Robert De Niro looks like De Niro.
Does.
Pacino looks like Sam the bald eagle, and Joe Pesci looks like he just came back from cleaning Woody for Big Al of Al's Toy Barn.
Or that he works in a library.
No, he looks too mean to work in a library. He looks like an old mafioso.
Yeah, but there's some mean people in libraries.
I worked in a library.
Did you?
I did work experience in a library before, yeah.
How was it?
Meh.
Yeah,
it was boring.
Like, what else are you gonna say?
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy.
It was a rager.
There was so much cocaine.
So much. Jesus.
Too much.
It was kicking off, bro. No, it wasn't. But yeah, The Irishman is apparently really, really good.
Actually, a decent segue is to go back to the Joker.
Yeah.
Because Robert De Niro and Joaquin Phoenix clashed. You want to cover this?
Sure. I'll tell the story. It was 2019.
Oh my God. I regret this.
Yeah. No. So basically, Robert De Niro, Hollywood royalty,
and a professional
said everyone has to come to the script reading. Joaquin Phoenix, a renowned, amazing actor who does his own thing.
He's a floaty artist type.
Gives you the
in the moment,
gives you the performance, not necessarily in a way that you want or that is easy to manage, but he gives it to you.
And it's truly how he feels in that moment.
Yeah, like he's really good at getting in that mindset.
He doesn't like to rehearse anything, so it's predetermined.
No. And the funny thing is, like, I totally understand where he's coming from. So he refused to go to the script reading.
Both of them are right.
Yeah. They really are. So, Robert De Niro, classic actor. We read through the whole script. We get a feel for it. And
this is how we've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And this is how we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix wants to get a genuine reaction in the moment. So obviously he doesn't want to do these scenes ahead of time.
Doesn't want anything to be premeditated at all.
Doesn't want to put anything like into it in the script reading that he might lose when he's doing it in real life. I totally understand that perspective as well.
But Robert De Niro turned up the Italian-American gangster and was like, it's happening.
You're fucking coming. That's the end of it. So Joaquin Phoenix dragged his feet in like Charlie Brown, mumbled his way through the script.
In Robert De Niro's New York office.
Yeah.
So it was actually in his own place.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And in the end, so he, as you said, Joaquin Phoenix mumbled all his lines, and then De Niro took him aside, gave him a stern talking to,
and apparently on set they didn't share many words.
No, it was pretty much a good morning, good night kind of.
Although, in fairness, that might add to the characters,
definitely,
because it seems like that's their actual relationship in it.
Bill Skarsgård wanted to keep separation between him and the kids as well. Well, I don't know if it was Bill Skarsgård. It was the director, but that's a great idea.
I love hearing Bill Hader talk about it, where he was like, no, Bill Skarsgård isn't really like that. He just kind of turns it on when he's doing it. Other than that, though, he's just a really cool guy.
Yeah.
If Bill Hader put it best, where he's like, no, he doesn't need to do that shit, which is good. But like, we've given them our premiere award, Hunk and Skunk, obviously.
Yes.
Hunk goes to Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro for being masters of their craft.
And both very different, but both equally amazing.
Equally amazing actors.
Yeah.
And Skunks have gone to both their egos.
But they do deserve those egos.
They deserve the egos as well.
But yeah.
Yeah. Robert De Niro, I don't know. I kind of side with De Niro.
I do too.
Yeah.
But Joaquin Phoenix is the star of the movie, and De Niro is, well, I haven't seen the movie, but in the trailer he looks like quite a secondary character to Joaquin Phenix's Joker. So, but yeah, he's royalty. He really is royalty.
Yeah. Bobby De Niro.
yeah. He's one of those golden classics.
He is, yeah. It was funny. I was watching GQ. I've mentioned this before. Do these great like interviews where they're like breaking down people's
most iconic roles
and everything. And Cillian Murphy was doing it, and it's fun hearing people talk about the industry because Cillian Murphy goes, well, Chris called me up and he said he had a role for me. When he says that, he's talking about Christopher Nolan.
I know, isn't it so cool?
Or even like...
didn't we see as well, Todd Phillips calls Robert De Niro Bobby?
Yeah.
Or is it like, Bob? Maybe it's Bob.
I think it's Bob. He doesn't like Bobby, he likes Bob. I know that. Because... what's his name?
You've made it when you're calling Robert De Niro Bob.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper's like, oh yeah, Bob, and everything he says that. So they all call him Bob, which is amazing.
That's so cool because he's Mr. De Niro to me.
Yeah, he's Mr. De Niro. Yeah. Mr. Robert De Niro.
Oh, here we should go on to probably the best news of the winter.
Yes.
The fall. Mom and Dad aren't fighting anymore.
Hey,
they're back together. The separation is over,
baby.
They're sleeping in the same room again.
Oh, thank God! I don't have to have Dad's terrible meals anymore.
Yeah, fish fingers in the microwave.
Dad, why?
Mom's back to nurture us.
Yeah, at her teat.
Sure.
We were very young during this period. No, thanks to Tom Holland talking to Bob Iger and the head of Sony and everyone and being like, listen guys, you gotta bring me back to the MCU.
Yeah, Spider-Man needs to come back.
Spider-Man is back in the MCU and talks have reopened basically.
Yeah, and they've already set a date for the next co-produced movie, which is 2021.
Amazing.
And they've confirmed that Spider-Man will appear in another MCU related movie.
Yeah.
We don't know what movie it is yet. It could be a new Avengers movie, or it could be like a Doctor Strange or something.
You see, in the MCU, the one thing that would keep me going to it is the thought that Tom Holland is the new Tony Stark.
Yes, which is what it seems like they're setting up.
Which is what it seems like, but that's what I want to see. Like, I want to see Tom Holland, like, what keeping me interested for phase 4, 5, and 6 is, like, 10 years down the line, Tom Holland, it's like, instead of Stark Tower, it's Parker Industries.
Parker Industries, yeah.
And he's there,
totally.
and he's in charge, and he's, like, not even, like, necessarily leading the Avengers, but he's, like, a key role, and then maybe he takes up the mantle and everything. Like, that's what you want to see.
I'm so glad he's back.
Yeah.
I love the Tom Holland. Like, Bob Iger is the top of the top. Like, he's got the penthouse suite.
Yeah.
This is the big wig. Like, this is literally the head of Disney. And Tom Holland's like, hey, we should talk about... He held the Uncharted movie for an adaptation of the really popular video game. Tom Holland is going to be the lead in that movie. He's been signed on for around 2 years now, I'd say.
Yeah. Is he playing Nathan Drake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a younger Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
And he actually sort of held that movie hostage.
Yeah.
Because he's doing that for Sony. And he's like, hey, you want to get this made? Maybe you need to start negotiating with Disney again.
You need to renegotiate.
So Tom Holland is... bit of a gangster.
He is. I've
bit of a closet gangster.
I love Tom Holland already, but I've gained a lot of respect for him after this move.
Big time. Also, when the post
that he did on his Instagram. Speaking of Martin Scorsese, Jesus, it all comes back in today's episode. Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere.
I love that scene. Jordan Belfort on the stage,
refusing to leave.
Perfection. And he didn't even put any dialogue underneath it. No words, just that. Perfect.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Stranger Things has been renewed as well.
It's been renewed. That's really exciting. 4. But I think we need to get on to our fun topics.
Do we have time for this? Are we going to do it?
Are we going to do it?
What time do you have?
I have 8 minutes past 7. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. All right. So this is a part of our segment, Topic.
Give us one. Give us a good one.
Topic Thunder. Calling sounds of thunder. Whispering. Can we do an ASMR episode one of these days?
This is nice.
Okay,
stop. It's getting weird now.
No, so
shame on you listeners that with boners right now.
All one of you. This is a Topic Thunder, which is where we're kind of doing a more journalistic approach where we take like kind of an interesting topic and we want to kind of bring it to you and share our interest for it.
And I love this one. This is your one. You came up with this idea.
It is. It's killer movies or movies that have killed people.
Movies that killed.
Movies that killed, yes.
Yeah.
Movies that killed.
But not in the box office.
Not necessarily in the box office. No, sometimes it could be, but not necessarily. So the first one I'm going to do, the format may change as we do it, but this is about Poltergeist, which is a 1982 movie written by Steven Spielberg, but not directed by Steven Spielberg.
Which is odd, but I think back then he did do a little bit of script work.
Yeah. That's kind of how he started as well. He was more of a writer and everything.
Oh, I found a little bit of trivia about this that I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay, well, Poltergeist is it's a classic horror classic.
Yes,
there's a great poster that you found for it.
I love that.
Hopefully, we can throw it on screen for you guys.
I will throw it up. I'll even throw it up now, just for inspiration.
It is. It's a movie I've never seen.
That is a great poster.
But the poster looks great, and I'd love to watch it after.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah, it's a famous horror movie. It's like
I didn't realize there was 3 of them.
Yeah. People put it up there with The Exorcist in terms of
and then there's the remake as well.
Yes, but the remake, thankfully, did not have such a tragic ending. So anyway, the movie is renowned for having a curse in which a lot of its lead actors ended up dying.
Yes.
Shortly after, or in kind of horrific ways. So the first example of this is, hang on, let me see it. It began the same year the movie was released. Actress Dominic Young, who made her debut in Poltergeist as the elder sister of Carol Ann, who's the young girl with her hand on the TV or whatever, was strangled to death by her former boyfriend.
That's scary.
In the wake of an argument between the two.
Yeah.
She had starred in her first film and was then strangled to death by her boyfriend.
And this was a big hit as well, so things were just taking off for this actress.
Yeah. The boyfriend would only go on to be found guilty of voluntary manslaughter, which obviously sparked outrage in her family. Also,
voluntary manslaughter
sounds like murder.
Is murder.
Yeah, it sounds like murder.
It's a fancy way of calling it murder.
Anyway, yeah, so basically that kind of kicked off the curse, of terrible things happening to the lead actors and actresses in this.
That guy got just over 3 years in the end. He got like a suspended sentence. I looked it up today.
He got a suspended sentence as well?
He strangled someone to death.
Jesus Christ. How do you think he played it off as voluntary manslaughter?
I don't know.
I don't even understand how that works.
I don't know what excuse. It would take me a long time to come up with a good excuse for strangling someone to death.
He must have had a really good lawyer. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, definitely. OJ's lawyer.
OJ's lawyer. Yeah.
Well, let's see if the glove fits. There was no glove in this incident. Let's see if the glove fits.
You've never seen the Book of Mormon, have you?
No, I really want to see. Have you seen the actual musical itself?
Yeah, I saw it on Broadway.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, anyway,
Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Creators
of South Park.
Creators of South Park. But the funny thing is, at one stage they go to hell in that, and one of the people in Mormon hell, is the guy who got OJ off.
Brilliant. That's amazing.
I remember that joke. Oh, it was so funny. I love the Book of Mormon. Anyway, back to something a bit more dark and miserable. This kind of fits with the Halloween theme as well. I didn't even think of this.
That was pretty dark and horrible anyway.
Yeah, pretty dark and horrible.
About OJ.
Anyway, in the next string of spooky deaths was Julian Beck, who played the apocalyptic prognosticator Kane in Poltergeist 2. She would not live to see the release of the sequel, which would be her final movie. His final movie. Julian Beck, not Julia Beck. Jesus Christ, I can't read. He passed away at the age of 60 after a battle with stomach cancer on September 14th, 1985. So he didn't even see the release of the movie.
So bleak.
So bleak. The third death of an actor associated with the film started rousing spectral suspicions.
Ooh, I like that.
Will Sampson had played the kindly ghost named Taylor, who protected Carol Ann, again the girl from the putting her hand on the TV.
What a nice guy.
He died on June 1987 after a lengthy illness caused by a chronic degenerative condition. He was only 53 years old.
Wow.
So these people are kind of like cut down in their prime, basically. A lot of them anyway.
Big time.
So not long after that, Heather O'Rourke, the young actress who played protagonist Carol Ann.
This is the worst one.
This is terrible. She would pass away rather suddenly. Doctors had been attempting to repair an acute bowel obstruction caused by congenital stenosis of the intestine, but could not save the young actress in time, according to the LA Times. So she was pronounced dead on February 1st, 1988, and she was only 12 years old.
She was 12, and she went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
A 12-year-old going into cardiac arrest.
Terrifying.
And this was just before the third film came out.
Yeah, so she missed the release.
She was in all three. So she's the main actress of all three.
She's the reason they stopped.
Yeah. Do you know, there's only one thing worse than a young girl dying, and it's a young, rich, white girl dying.
Yes, that's exactly it. A young, rich,
you know what I mean?
successful white girl dying.
That moves the needle a little bit.
It really does. That gets people's attention right there.
You're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah. She was young, rich, and white?
Yeah.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
That's horrible.
It is. No, it's terrible. Like I said, this is a bit of a morbid topic, but it's kind of interesting.
I find it extremely interesting.
Yeah, there's other movies as well where there's terrible accidents that happen, but it's funny trying to watch a movie and then when you actually think about all the stuff that went into it. We'll talk about it at some stage, but The Crow with Brandon Lee and everything.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. Another one. This will be a recurring one because I really like this. We'll do horrible accidents as well. Some of the stunt men that and women and
I might
things
try
we
and
went
make
through.
a quiz out of it. We'll figure some stuff out.
Oh, the little bit of trivia I wanted to say is
Yeah.
that supposedly in the first movie, Steven Spielberg was also a producer, and he wanted, now this isn't confirmed, but one of the actresses in the first movie said that they use real skeletons.
I know this one as well.
Rather than plastic skeletons because it was cheaper to use real skeletons.
Yes.
And she blames Spielberg for this.
So there's a scene in it where she falls into a pit and a lot of skeletons appear, and the rumor is, and I'm not 100% sure if it's been confirmed or not.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find any confirmation on this.
It's a very strong, like, classic Hollywood myth or rumor at least, that it was real skeletons used in this scene because it was cheaper
than plastic skeletons,
which is crazy.
Which is mental. And the actress blames Spielberg. She says this was his idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
there's supposed to be an exorcism on the set as well.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of this movie.
No, neither do I. I can't believe anyone agreed to be in the remake.
I'm fearful for Sam Rockwell. He's an absolute gem.
He is a gem. It's Justin Hammer himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. He must have done a lot of good in his life to kind of stave off the curse, you know?
Yeah, for now anyway. We'll see.
Yeah. There was one other death. This is the final one. And it was actress Zelda Rubinstein, who played the plucky, diminutive psychic in the 3 original films, and she passed away from natural causes at the age of 76. Her death is not usually connected to the so-called curse, as she was not exactly cut down in her prime. So that was the whole thing, that people were cut down in their prime or close to the release of the movie or around that
Especially
time.
those two.
Yeah.
Is it the actress with her first movie that was murdered, and then the young girl who's 12.
But even still, the other 2 deaths happened around in the 1980s as well, around the same time. Yeah. It's all a bit sketchy.
It is, isn't it?
It's a really interesting movie to kind of look into, and I mean to watch it.
Yeah, and this poster makes me really want to watch it.
Yes.
And the original poster is also a fantastic poster as well.
Oh, yeah?
And of course I lost it.
Oh, well.
Well, you know, the one where she has her hands on the television.
Yeah, her hands on the TV.
It's just a classic poster.
It is. It'll come on screen now.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's a smaller version of it.
There's a smaller version. But yeah, it's a movie I've been meaning to watch. Especially after doing so much research into it.
Yeah, I know. Now I really want to watch it. I don't know if I'd watch the whole trilogy because supposedly it gets worse and worse.
It's not very good.
Yeah.
It's diminishing returns.
Exactly, yeah.
Like with most horror films, sequels don't end up that well.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our show this week.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was good.
And I really like that new segment. Yeah. Well, it's Topic Thunder. This is going to be a reoccurring segment, but I like movies that killed.
Movies that killed.
Next one, it could be movies that maimed.
Yes, I like it.
Name that movie.
Now that we're getting into Shocktober. Oh. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will leave you. My name is Connor.
I mean.
Yeah, I don't know if we said that at the start.
We probably did. We might not have.
We might not have. But anyway, thank you for watching Straight to Series. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff.
Get onto Instagram. That's where we're most active.
We are very active on Instagram. Check us out. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
For a Joker review.
Bye.